Hi everyone, you're very welcome to the Social Media Hot Seat. The Social Media Hot Seat is 15 minutes of candid social media advice for business people. If you haven't done so already, please follow my page, or if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so that you'll get updates on the new episodes as they come through. So today in the hot seat, I'm really delighted to welcome Geraldine Gallagher. Geraldine Gallagher is from Inspire Coaching, and without further ado, I'm going to welcome Geraldine to the show. Geraldine, so tell us about what you do and how your business is different.
Yes, thank you, Louise, for inviting me. I work with employers to support and retain their working parents through transitions. So primarily supporting women return to work following maternity leave, or it might be people who've been on career break, sabbatical, long-term illness. So it's really that transition piece back into the workplace and building their confidence and tapping into their professional identity and basically getting them up to speed and feel valued as employees.
What brings you to the hot seat?
Loads of things, but I'm only allowed one, so I better focus on one. So I am running an event in Cork on the 24th of March, and it's aimed at employers to basically send their employees along. And it's a workshop for women who have either returned to work within the last year after maternity leave and are finding it hard, or women who are about to return and are feeling anxious about the return or worried about how it'll all work or where they fit in, because typically a lot of changes happens in the work environment when people have been on maternity leave. It's actually very daunting for a lot of people. So my challenge is the event that I've created aimed at employers. So it's creating video content and messages that the employers will understand that it's for them to support their employees, but also I want employees, if they see it and they feel they need it, that they can go to their employer and say, look, can you send me on this, basically.
Okay, it's a really interesting subject. Can I just ask, before we go into the event, can I just delve a little deeper so I understand what we're talking? When you say people find it hard coming back to work, what are the typical areas where they're finding it difficult?
Like, a lot of it is that they've lost their confidence. So it's almost like, if you think of confidence as like a muscle, so if you stop using that muscle, it's not as good as it used to be. So they lose confidence in themselves. And because a lot of women, especially first-time mums, when they come out of the workplace and into the baby world for the first time, as you and I both know, it's a crazy place when you've never been there before. And it's a whole new world. And they've just kind of got to terms with that when they are due to go back to work, and it's that whole emotional piece, and also they've lost their sense of professional identity. So say, for example, someone's a manager and they're excellent at their job, but then when it comes to coming back to work, the conversations I'd have with them is that they don't feel that they can think straight because the baby's not sleeping. There's a whole new team. How are they going to engage with them? How do they fit in anymore? So there's a lot of fear and lacking confidence, as I said, and then the struggle with work-life harmony. How's that going to work? And so it's really about getting them to, I suppose, provide that space for them to think it through and to come up with a plan and to have strategies to deal with certain situations.
And would this typically happen when somebody's coming back just after 6 to 8 to 10 months? Would they lose their confidence that quickly?
Oh, absolutely. I've had people, the reality is everyone's different, and for some people, I've had people who are maybe 8 months back in the role and they just hit a block wall and they were like, but I was fine when I returned. I don't know what's happened. But it's almost like we're like the swan, we're on the outside all calm and serene, but on the inside we're frantically trying to prove ourselves and make everything work. And, we get to burnout. So it is hugely challenging for people.
Yeah, so I was just saying, even can people lose their confidence in just even that few months?
Yeah, I suppose I've had a few different transitions myself, but it really comes down to the individual. And the reality is, I suppose a lot of the women that I would work with tend to be in the corporate world and they've been in the organisation for a long period of time. So the thing is, it's all about what's going on in our heads as well. So if someone's replaced me on maternity leave, I'm probably creating all these stories in my head about, oh God, that person's better. They're going to find out that I made mistakes. All this BS, really. But so, you know what I mean? So we can be our own worst enemy. So the confidence thing, it's almost like something that we need to look after, our confidence. And we may be confident in one area, but just not in another. So I see it all the time. Confidence definitely gets diminished after being out of the workplace for any period of time.
So it's nearly like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I suppose as well, when people or mothers, when they return back to work, they don't have the same flexibility in terms of working hours and working late and coming in early because they're now restricted.
Completely. And another thing I see is, especially with first time mums, is that someone may have worked like, long hours before because we're very driven in their career, and now they've got a family and they can't do it any longer. So it's about working smarter, not harder. That's another part of the jigsaw that I work with women.
Have you got the event set up on Facebook, Geraldine?
Yeah.
I'll just have a quick look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the event here. So the event is on the 24th of March. It's Managing Your Career, Motherhood and You. I like it. And you have Cork International Airport. And have they accepted it, this as a co-host, Geraldine?
No. How do I get them to do that, or how do I make them a co-host? Is that?
Yeah. So the fact that you have added them as that's where the location of the event is taking place. I can't see it because I'm not an admin on your event. But you'll be able to check and see if there's a co-host pending on that. If there's not, what you can do is when you go in to edit the event, you can add a co-host. You'll see a field where you can add a co-host. Okay. So the benefit is if they accept that as a co-host is that it sits on their Facebook page as well. And it also then, Facebook knows where the event is taking place. It will suggest it to people who are nearby. So that's one of the focuses for 2020 for Facebook is this big focus on events. So if they haven't accepted that as a co-host already, or if you add them as a co-host and they haven't accepted it yet, I would just give them a call and ask to speak whoever does social media and see is it possible. Now they may have, it may be a case that they accept all co-hosts, because I've worked with some hotels that just accept them because they see the benefit, and it is a good benefit because it just makes their event section on their own Facebook page look really, really active. Whereas other hotels have a policy that they don't accept any, which is a pity. So if they don't accept any, there's really nothing you can do about it. Or you may have a hotel, and I don't know anything about Cork International Hotel, you may have a hotel that's not that active on social media and they just may need to be prompted. So it's absolutely no harm at all to make a phone call because it'd be worthwhile. Yeah. So I can see here that you have the details down. Okay, you might want to think of resizing that cover image because the wording is just a bit cropped there. And in fact, what I would do is I would look for an image which really represents the person that you're trying to target. And on Facebook, that will be the employee. So look for somebody, like even if you can get it, canva.com is amazing for designing, for graphic design when you're not a graphic designer. So even look for an image of somebody with a laptop in one hand and a baby, resting in their other hand, because a good strong visual will have a really good impact for your event.
Yeah, and I suppose, and then you probably can't see this in the detail, but that's why I put the picture of me, because I'm actually holding a handbag and a laptop bag there under my arm, and I've got a teddy bear hanging out in a bottle out of the bag, and the phone. So a typical working mom. Here we go.
Yeah, so I'd like that to be like to take the rest of this out and to just make it so that, like, when I look at that, when you explain to me what it is, I can see it. But if I'm glancing, I could potentially miss it. So you want something that screams to somebody in an instant. And also bear in mind that 99% of people are going to be seeing this on a mobile device. So, if anything is small, they're going to miss it. It needs to be really obvious and in their faces. I would say when you are planning content, Geraldine, number one, don't post the content in the event. Okay, so sometimes you see people when they create an event and then they want to create the content relating to the event in the Facebook event. When you do that, only people who've said they're going to the event are going to see that content. So it's going to be too limiting for you. So what I would suggest is that you just keep talking about this event, keep tagging it in your posts. But when you're creating any content promoting the event, create it on your own Facebook page. So you want to think about creating. So how many weeks have you got to the event, Geraldine?
It's about 7.5 weeks.
Okay, so you've got 7 nice meaty weeks that you can be putting. So if I were you, what I would be aiming for is a video a week. A really good meaty video, one a week, at least. If you can do more, happy days. Do one a week and have a little bit of budget to keep it in the news feed for a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days. Just as you were speaking to me earlier on, what you mentioned to me, so you talked about loss in confidence, that they've lost their professional identity, imposter syndrome, fear in the workplace, balancing the life balance. So there's 4 or 5 ideas straight away. And so what you want to think about is either you're creating the video and speaking in it, or you're getting somebody else to do it for you. So you might have somebody who's already done your courses, somebody who you've already coached, somebody who's come out the other side. First of all, in the video, you want to kind of talk about the issues that that person is experiencing, because what they want to do is to be able to watch this video and go, oh geez, that's me. Okay, this event must be for me. So what you want to do is talk through the issues that they're experiencing. So you really want to really walk in the shoes of that person and where they are right now, and words that they use and phrases that they use, and that you really understand where they are. And then at the end of it, you can say, look, I can help, there's this event happening, blah, blah, blah. Make the video not about the event. Make the video about the issue you're discussing or the advice that you're giving. And of course, you can link to the event in the description of the video. But if you start off the video, or if whoever you get to do the video starts off the video with, hi, I'm having an event on the 24th of March and I want to tell you something about it, you'll have lost the opportunity, because people will not have tuned in long enough to hear all the good meaty information. So start off the video to draw people in the first 5 seconds. Then think very carefully about what you can say in the video description to encourage people to watch it as long as possible. So you may say, mothers that return to work often feel a loss of confidence. Here's 3 things that will help you, and listen till the end, because the third one is absolutely the best, and make sure the third one is the best. Okay, because that encourages somebody to stay longer. And if you listen to podcasts, or if you listen to morning shows on the TV, these are things that they do all the time to get you to keep you tuned, to keep you watching, you know. So that's a tactic you can employ. Be careful about how you word the video, the description of the video. It needs to be good enough to pull somebody in. But if Facebook think that you're trying to target people because they're suffering from, if you say, have you lost your confidence? Facebook will not let you boost that post. But if you say, mothers that experience loss of confidence can do this, you can't ask somebody, are you depressed? But you can say, here's some advice for people who may be depressed. You can't say, are you over 50? But you can say, here's advice, or here's something for people who are over 50.
And is that the same that the Facebook thing and LinkedIn, are they the same in terms of that questioning, or is it different?
No, that would be specific to Facebook. But you will want to, like on Facebook, what you can do is you can then put some budget behind these videos, and you want to target people, Cork or whatever region that you're targeting them for. And you can target people based on, they have like newborn children or toddlers. So you can put that in the interest. So you can put in people in Cork of a specific age, probably females, and you can actually, in the interests, I know you could, I don't know if you still can, you can type in babies or mothers of children or mothers of toddlers, and you'll have a whole load of options, and you can select more than one. When you've got that, like that audience, just put some budget behind your video. Think carefully about the days and the times you're going to post them. Try and post them maybe the same day every week. So I don't know, a Sunday evening or a Monday evening or something like that would work quite well. And then keep it in the news feed for 4 or 5 days. Avoid Saturdays. I think Saturdays and Friday evenings people are totally switched off. They just absolutely want to forget about work during the weekend. So maybe avoid the Sundays in this case as well. And then LinkedIn. Any of the videos that you produce for Facebook, put them out on LinkedIn anyway. Keep them short and snappy. You want to get to the point, or you want to keep them people's attention. And if you have produced them for Facebook, put them out on LinkedIn, put them out on Twitter, if they're short enough for Twitter, or wherever you're hanging out on social media. You can repurpose those as blogs on your website as well, Geraldine, so that they'll have multiple purposes for you. On LinkedIn, you may want to do a different video where you talk about the benefits of having happy employees, how much productivity can be affected when somebody is lacking in confidence, and the fact that they may lose really good, valuable people with lots of knowledge just because they've lost their confidence, and maybe they have more sick days, and just maybe slightly different angle then for a LinkedIn. And are you in any groups? Are there any groups both on LinkedIn or Facebook that are relevant to this?
Potentially.
Have a look then and share those video content, share them in the groups as well. But put them on your page first of all, and then share them across into different groups, because you'll catch different people's attention. And if you have people that will do those videos for you, that will even be better again, if they've done the coaching. And if you have friends or family that would be willing to do, if you don't have customers who are willing to do it, you may have people that you know quite well. Like I'd have no issue, say, if I had just gone through it. It's obviously a long time since I had my twins, but find people, 4 or 5 people, and set it up and say, this is how I felt. This is how I felt, and I needed help. And so the first half of the video could be how people feel, and the second half can be how they can be helped. And all you just need to do in your description is to make sure that people know, there's some advice there, and they need to hang on and watch it. Okay, will you come back and let us know how you get on, Geraldine?
I will indeed. Yeah. Thanks so much, Louisa. Appreciate it.